In the heart of ancient Mesopotamia, nestled between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, a civilization bloomed. This land, now modern-day Iraq, witnessed the rise of the Sumerians. This remarkable people gifted humanity with its first taste of civilization. Their ingenuity transformed a challenging environment into a cradle of innovation. The Sumerians were pioneers in the truest sense, establishing the world's first cities. They crafted a system of writing, capturing their stories, laws, and knowledge for generations to come. Their organized religion, with its imposing ziggurats, reflected a deeply spiritual people. The Sumerians were not just survivors, they were innovators, builders, and thinkers. Their story begins in a land of contrasts. Mesopotamia, the land between rivers, was both a blessing and a curse. The rivers offered life-giving water and fertile soil essential for agriculture. Yet these same rivers were unpredictable, prone to devastating floods that could wipe out an entire year's harvest in an instant. This constant tension between abundance and destruction shaped the Sumerian character. To survive, they had to become masters of their environment. They devised ingenious irrigation systems, learned to predict the river's moods, and built their cities to withstand nature's fury. It was in this crucible of challenge that the Sumerian spirit was forged. The Sumerians left behind a rich legacy of art and culture. Their craftsmanship was unparalleled, showcasing their skill and creativity. Music and dance were integral parts of Sumerian life, reflecting their joy and reverence for the divine. Education was highly valued, with schools dedicated to teaching the young. Trade flourished, connecting Sumer with distant lands and cultures. The rivers served as highways for commerce, facilitating the exchange of goods and ideas. The Sumerians also established a complex legal system, ensuring justice and order in their society. They were not just builders and thinkers, but also fierce warriors, defending their cities from invaders. Religion played a central role in Sumerian life, with elaborate rituals and ceremonies. The ziggurats were not just architectural marvels, but also centers of worship and community life. The Sumerians believed in a pantheon of gods and goddesses, each governing different aspects of life and nature. Their myths and legends have endured through the ages, offering a glimpse into their worldview and values. Agriculture was the backbone of Sumerian economy, with innovative techniques ensuring bountiful harvests. Their mastery of irrigation allowed them to thrive in an otherwise harsh environment. The Sumerians were master builders, creating structures that have stood the test of time. They developed an extensive network of roads and infrastructure, facilitating movement and trade. Their technological innovations laid the foundation for future civilizations. The Sumerians were also scholars and scientists, making significant contributions to knowledge and learning. They observed the stars and planets, developing early forms of astronomy. Mathematics was another area where the Sumerians excelled, creating systems that are still in use today. Their medical practices were advanced for their time, with knowledge of herbs and treatments. The Sumerians codified their laws, creating some of the earliest legal documents in history. Their society was complex, with distinct social classes and roles. Family life was central to Sumerian culture, with strong bonds and traditions. Festivals and celebrations were common, bringing the community together in joy and unity. Their burial practices reflected their beliefs in the afterlife, with elaborate tombs and offerings. The legacy of the Sumerians lives on, influencing countless generations and civilizations. Their innovations and ideas were adopted and adapted by later cultures, spreading far and wide. The achievements of the Sumerians are a testament to their ingenuity and resilience. The spirit of the Sumerians, forged in the crucible of challenge, continues to inspire us today. Mesopotamia, the land between rivers, remains a symbol of human potential and perseverance. As we look back at the dawn of civilization, we remember the Sumerians, the pioneers of humanity's first great leap forward. Picture bustling city-states like Uruk, Ur, and Eridu, hubs of commerce, religion, and culture. These were not mere settlements, they were metropolises, unprecedented in size and complexity. The world marveled at their towering ziggurats reaching for the heavens and the echoes of trade that resonated far beyond their borders. Within these cities, life was a tapestry woven with threads of ingenuity and social structure. The Sumerians developed a hierarchical society, ruled by kings who were seen as intermediaries between the gods and the people. Their laws, some of the earliest known to man, aimed to establish justice and order in a world still grappling with its own creation. Their invention of writing, the cuneiform script, was a pivotal moment in human history. No longer were stories, laws, and knowledge confined to the fleeting realm of oral tradition. With cuneiform, pressed into clay tablets, the Sumerians etched their presence onto the very fabric of time. This ability to record their thoughts, dreams, and discoveries had a profound impact. Knowledge, once passed down through generations by word of mouth, could now be disseminated more widely and accurately. This sparked a cultural revolution, allowing for the development of more complex literature, law, and even mathematics. Our journey begins in the southern region of Mesopotamia, a land known as the Fertile Crescent. Cradled between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, this region was a stark contrast to the arid landscapes. Annual floods deposited rich silt, creating a fertile oasis. Early humans arrived, drawn by abundant food and water. Rivers teemed with fish, land ripe for crops, and animals grazed. However, this abundance came at a price. The rivers were also a source of great danger. Gentle giants could transform into raging torrents, sweeping away everything. As millennia passed, the early settlers of Mesopotamia, the ancestors of the Sumerians, began to establish permanent settlements along the fertile banks of the Tigris and Euphrates. These settlements, initially small villages sustained by agriculture and fishing, gradually grew in size and complexity. They learned to manage the river's floods, harnessing their power to irrigate their crops and ensure a more stable food supply. This newfound agricultural stability had a profound impact on Sumerian society. With a surplus of food, not everyone was required to work the land. This led to specialization of labor, with some individuals dedicating themselves to crafts, trade, and governance, laying the foundation for a more complex social structure. As these villages grew, they evolved into powerful city-states, each a center of political, religious, and economic power. Among the most prominent were Uruk, Ur, and Eridu, cities that would become synonymous with Sumerian civilization. These city-states, though often rivals, were bound together by a shared culture, language, and a deep reverence for the rivers that sustained them. The rise of these city-states marked a pivotal moment in human history. For the first time, humans were no longer scattered across the landscape in small, isolated communities. They were coming together in large numbers, creating urban centers that fostered innovation, trade, and cultural exchange. The Sumerian city-states, bustling with life and activity, were the crucibles in which the very concept of civilization was being forged. Central to the Sumerians' success was their mastery over water. They understood that the floods, though destructive, were the lifeblood of their civilization. To harness this power, they developed ingenious irrigation systems, a network of canals, ditches, and reservoirs that allowed them to control the flow of water, directing it to their fields and ensuring a stable water supply for their crops. This technological innovation had a transformative impact on Sumerian agriculture. No longer at the mercy of unpredictable floods, the Sumerians could now grow crops year-round, leading to a surge in agricultural production. Fields of barley, wheat, and flax stretched across the land, providing a surplus of food that could support a growing population and fuel the development of their cities. The Sumerians' mastery over water extended beyond irrigation. They constructed impressive levees to hold back floodwaters, protecting their cities and fields from devastation. They dug canals not just for irrigation, but also for transportation, creating a network of waterways that connected their cities and facilitated trade. This intricate system of water management, a testament to Sumerian ingenuity and engineering prowess, was the backbone of their civilization. It allowed them to thrive in a land that was both bountiful and unforgiving, transforming Mesopotamia from a land of challenges into a cradle of civilization. As the Sumerian city-states grew in size and complexity, so too did their need for record-keeping. They needed a way to track trade, to codify their laws, and to preserve their stories and knowledge for future generations. This need led to one of the most profound inventions in human history: writing. The Sumerians developed a system of writing known as cuneiform. named after the wedge-shaped marks made by pressing a reed stylus into wet clay tablets. These tablets, once dried in the sun, became durable records that could be stored and transported, preserving Sumerian thoughts, beliefs, and experiences for millennia to come. The invention of writing was a watershed moment in human history. It marked a fundamental shift from a world reliant on oral tradition to one where knowledge could be recorded, stored, and transmitted across time and space. Cuneiform allowed the Sumerians to codify their laws, creating a system of justice that was more consistent and transparent. Moreover, writing fostered the development of literature, allowing the Sumerians to record their myths, legends, and epic tales, providing us with a glimpse into their worldview, their beliefs, and their aspirations. The Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the earliest known works of literature, etched into clay tablets over 4,000 years ago, continues to resonate with readers today, a testament to the enduring power of the written word. Among the bustling city-states of ancient Sumer, one stood out, Uruk. Considered the world's first true metropolis, Uruk was a testament to Sumerian innovation. Imagine walking through Uruk's bustling streets surrounded by towering mud brick walls. At its heart stood the Eanna district, dedicated to Inanna, the goddess of love, war, and fertility. Towering ziggurats dominated the skyline, symbols of Sumerian religious fervor. Uruk was a hub of trade, where merchants from distant lands converged. The world's first known system of writing, cuneiform, originated in Uruk. Nestled on the banks of the Euphrates River lay Ur, a city steeped in history and renowned for its religious significance. Today, Ur is best known as the birthplace of Abraham, the patriarch of the Abrahamic religions. Its most iconic landmark was the Great Ziggurat of Ur, dedicated to Nana, the moon god. The city's bustling marketplace was a sensory feast, filled with the aromas of exotic spices and the clamor of merchants. Journey south along the Euphrates River, and you would have encountered Eridu, a city steeped in ancient lore and considered one of the earliest urban centers in Sumer. According to Sumerian mythology, Eridu was the first city ever built, founded by the gods themselves and bestowed upon humanity as a gift of civilization. Eridu was dedicated to Enki, the god of wisdom, water, and creation, a deity of immense importance in the Sumerian pantheon. The city was renowned as a center of learning and religious pilgrimage, a place where priests sought wisdom from Enki, and where the secrets of writing, mathematics, and astronomy were said to have been revealed. The heart of Eridu was its ziggurat, a towering structure that underwent numerous reconstructions over the centuries, each layer built upon the foundations of its predecessors, symbolizing the continuity of religious tradition and the accumulation of knowledge over time. Though smaller than Uruk or Ur-Eridu, held a special place in the Sumerian imagination, revered as a city of ancient origins, a place where the gods walked among humans and where the foundations of civilization were laid. Its legacy endured long after its decline, its myths and legends passed down through generations, shaping the religious beliefs and cultural identity of the Sumerian people. The power of the ziggurat temples and social centers. Dominating the skyline of every Sumerian city-state was the ziggurat, a towering stepped pyramid. These monumental structures, built with millions of mud bricks, were symbols of Sumerian religious fervor. The ziggurat was believed to be the dwelling place of the city's patron deity. Priests performed rituals and offered sacrifices seeking the favor of the gods. Beyond their religious functions, ziggurats served as important social and economic hubs. They housed granaries, workshops, and scribal schools. The ziggurat's platform provided a commanding view for astronomical observation. The Sumerian cityscape, a glimpse into urban life. Imagine stepping back in time and wandering through the bustling streets of a Sumerian city. The air is thick with the scent of roasting barley and the sounds of commerce. The streets are narrow and winding, lined with mud brick houses. Life in a Sumerian city was a vibrant tapestry of sights, sounds, and smells. The marketplace was a sensory feast, overflowing with goods from near and far. Here, merchants hawked their wares, artisans displayed their skills. Despite the bustling activity, life in a Sumerian city could be challenging. Sanitation was poor, and diseases spread easily. Yet, the Sumerians adapted, developing ingenious solutions like sewage systems. The Sumerian city was a living, breathing organism, a testament to human ingenuity. Imagine a time before writing, when knowledge was entrusted to memory. The Sumerians, on the cusp of transformation, developed cuneiform. This invention forever altered civilization. Evolving from pictograms to abstract symbols, cuneiform emerged. In bustling Sumerian cities, a new profession emerged, the scribe. Trained from a young age, scribes held great respect and responsibility. They were the keepers of knowledge and chroniclers of history. Imagine a scribe meticulously copying texts and preserving archives. Their days were spent etching cuneiform into clay. Their work was essential for preserving and transmitting knowledge. Scribes were also interpreters, translators, and innovators. They developed vocabularies for law, medicine, astronomy, and literature. Crafting hymns, myths, and epic tales, they enriched Sumerian culture. The role of the scribe was not without challenges. Learning cuneiform required years of dedicated study. The script was complex, with hundreds of characters to memorize. Despite challenges, scribes were esteemed as guardians of knowledge. The cuneiform transcended record-keeping, shaping Sumerian culture, law, and literature. Imagine the impact of writing on Sumerian law. Laws could be recorded, codified, and made accessible. The Code of Ur-Nammu from 2100 BCE offers insights into Sumerian legal thought. The Epic of Gilgamesh explores themes of love, loss, and the meaning of life. Writing transformed Sumerian society from oral to literate. The power of the written word forever altered human history. The Sumerian invention of cuneiform laid the foundation for literacy and knowledge transmission across civilizations. Imagine cuneiform spreading eastward, adopted by other cultures, its marks appearing in distant lands. The Akkadians adopted cuneiform, preserving Sumerian works and adapting the script. Cuneiform's influence reached the Elamites, Hittites, and even ancient Egyptians. These writing systems shared a common ancestor in cuneiform, a testament to its legacy. The Sumerians' gift of writing lives on, connecting us to a distant past. Sumerian society, like the towering ziggurats, was structured in distinct tiers, dictating social standing and power. At the apex stood the king, the Lugal, chosen by the gods to govern. Below the king, a complex web of social strata unfolded. Nobles held positions of influence, commanding armies and controlling land. Priests wielded power, overseeing rituals and advising the king. Scribes, masters of cuneiform, had access to knowledge and influence. Merchants, enriched by trade, formed a powerful class. Artisans, skilled in crafts, were the backbone of the economy. Farmers toiled at the base, feeding the cities, and at the very bottom were the slaves, bound to their masters. The Sumerian king, the Lugal, was more than just a political leader. He was considered a divine appointee, chosen by the gods to rule the city-state and ensure its well-being. His authority was absolute, encompassing all aspects of life, from warfare and diplomacy to agriculture and religious observance. The Lugal's primary responsibility was to maintain order and justice within the city-state, upholding the laws, resolving disputes, and protecting the populace from internal strife and external threats. He was expected to lead his armies in battle, defend the city's borders, and expand its territory through conquest. He was also responsible for overseeing the construction and maintenance of irrigation systems, temples, and other public works essential for the city's prosperity. The Lugal's power was not absolute. He was expected to rule justly and wisely, seeking the guidance of the gods through divination and consulting with the priesthood on matters of religious significance. He was also expected to live a life of piety and virtue, setting an example for his subjects to follow. The Sumerian concept of kingship, though hierarchical and authoritarian, emphasized the king's responsibility to his people. He was not merely a tyrant but a shepherd, entrusted with the well-being of his flock, his authority legitimized by his piety, his wisdom, and his ability to maintain order and prosperity within the city-state. In Sumerian society, priests were intermediaries between gods and mortals, interpreting divine will and performing rituals. The priesthood had a complex hierarchy, with high priests advising the king and lower-ranking priests managing daily rituals. Their power came from their perceived ability to communicate with the gods and ensure the community's spiritual well-being. The Sumerians envisioned a universe teeming with divine forces, a pantheon of gods and goddesses who controlled every aspect of nature and human destiny. These deities, anthropomorphic in form but possessing supernatural powers, were both revered and feared. At the head of the pantheon stood An, the sky god, the supreme ruler of the universe. Enlil, the god of wind and storm, was responsible for both life-giving rains and devastating floods. Enki, the god of wisdom and water, taught humanity the arts of civilization. Inanna, the goddess of love, war and fertility, was both alluring and fierce. Utu, the sun god, brought light, while Nanna, the moon god, ruled the night sky. The Sumerian pantheon was a dynamic system of beliefs reflecting their world and efforts to understand it. Religion permeated every aspect of Sumerian life, from grand temples to daily rituals. The Sumerians believed that the gods' favor was essential for prosperity. To appease these deities, they developed a complex system of rituals, offerings, and sacrifices. The gods expected to be honored and provided for through acts of piety and material offerings. Temples were the focal points of religious activity, with altars laden with offerings. Animal sacrifices and libations of beer and wine were common. Music, dance, and elaborate ceremonies were integral parts of Sumerian rituals. Priests interpreted signs from the gods to advise the king and populace. Ritual purity was paramount, with elaborate purification rites performed. Life for the Sumerians was a balance between honoring the gods and navigating human complexities. In this bustling world of cities and towering ziggurats, a new story began, the story of Abraham. According to the Bible, Abraham was born in the city of Ur around 2000 BCE. Ur, one of the largest cities of its time, was a center of trade and religion. The Bible tells us that Abraham received a divine call to leave his homeland and travel to the land of Canaan. His journey would take him through the heart of Mesopotamia, past cities like Uruk and Babylon, and eventually to the land that Almighty God promised to his offspring, as recorded in Genesis 12:7. While the Sumerians worshipped many gods, Abraham's bold journey ignited the spark of a revolutionary belief in the Almighty God. This enduring legacy weaves a timeless bond from the ancient sands of Mesopotamia to the spiritual quests of billions across the ages. During the golden age of Sumer, art, literature, and music thrived like never before. Sumerians turned their attention to creativity and intellectual pursuits. Temples were adorned with intricate carvings depicting mythology and epic tales. Sculptors crafted lifelike statues of rulers, deities, and mythical creatures. The invention of writing preserved rich oral traditions on clay tablets. The Epic of Gilgamesh, a masterpiece of Sumerian literature, explored themes of love, loss, and the meaning of life. Music played an integral role in Sumerian culture, accompanying rituals and celebrations. Sumerian art, literature, and music offer a glimpse into the soul of a civilization at its zenith. The Sumerians were responsible for remarkable technological and engineering innovations. The invention of the wheel revolutionized transportation and trade. Sumerians mastered metallurgy, creating tools, weapons, and decorative objects. They were skilled architects, building towering ziggurats and massive city walls. Sophisticated irrigation systems transformed Mesopotamia into a fertile breadbasket. Their technological and engineering innovations shaped their world and left a lasting legacy. The Sumerians demonstrated a remarkable ability to shape their environment. Their legacy is etched in the very landscape they inhabited. Sumerian city-states became bustling hubs of trade and commerce. Ships arrived from distant lands laden with exotic goods. Sumerian merchants bartered surplus grain, textiles, and crafted goods for precious commodities. Trade routes extended across land and waterways, facilitating the exchange of goods and ideas. Sumerians established diplomatic ties and trading outposts, extending their influence. Through trade, Mesopotamia became a crossroads of civilization, a melting pot of cultures and ideas. The Sumerian civilization left a legacy that shaped the course of history. Their innovations in the wheel, writing, mathematics, and law spread outward, influencing other cultures. Sumerians were pioneers, pushing the boundaries of human knowledge and creativity. Their legacy is etched in the artifacts they left behind and the very fabric of our world. The Sumerians' quest for knowledge and innovation continues to inspire us. Their story is a testament to the enduring power of human ingenuity. The success of the Sumerians sowed the seeds of their decline. Irrigation systems carried dissolved salts that accumulated in the soil. Over centuries, these salts poisoned the fields, diminishing yields. Sumerian farmers witnessed their fields yielding less each year. The once fertile fields were choked by salt, leading to a growing crisis. Sumerians attempted to combat the crisis with new canals and crop varieties. The relentless accumulation of salt proved difficult to reverse. Agricultural yields dwindled, leading to food shortages and unrest. The great cities began to feel the strain, with challenges to authority. The salt of the earth became a bitter taste of decline for Sumerian civilization. Environmental pressures led to fraying relationships between city-states. Competition for resources intensified, leading to rivalries and conflict. The Sumerian world became increasingly fragmented. Rulers felt pressure to secure resources, leading to territorial disputes. Skirmishes between city-states became more frequent and destructive. Military prowess and innovations fueled a cycle of violence. Internal conflicts drained resources and weakened the city-states. Walls were breached, and fields lay fallow due to war. The Sumerian world became vulnerable to external forces. The once united Sumerian civilization faced growing challenges from within. Nomadic peoples regarded the fertile plains with envy and disdain. The Akkadians, led by Sargon the Great, posed a significant threat. United under Sargon's rule, the Akkadians swept across Mesopotamia. The Sumerian city-states, weakened by internal conflict, fell to the Akkadians. The balance of power in Mesopotamia shifted to the Akkadian Empire. Sumerian culture and knowledge were absorbed into the new empire. The Akkadian Empire laid the groundwork for future empires in Mesopotamia. The Sumerian way of life was absorbed into the fabric of the Akkadian Empire. The Akkadian conquest marked the end of Sumerian political dominance. Sumerian influence continued to smolder, its warmth felt long after. The Akkadians adopted the Cuneiform script and preserved Sumerian literary works. Sumerian gods and myths were incorporated into the Akkadian pantheon. Future empires in Mesopotamia drew upon the legacy of Sumerian innovation. Sumerian innovations in writing, mathematics, and law influenced civilizations for centuries. The story of Sumer reminds us of the enduring power of human ingenuity. Even in decline, the Sumerian legacy continues to shape the world today. Echoes in the sands of time. The sands of time have buried the once great cities of Sumer. The echoes of their bustling marketplaces, the murmur of prayers, all faded into whispers. Yet the Sumerians live on in the foundations of our modern world. They were the pioneers who envisioned a world beyond survival. From the Tigris and Euphrates, they coaxed forth a civilization. Their invention of writing ignited a flame of knowledge. Their story serves as a wellspring of perspective. The rise and fall of Sumer reflects both the triumphs and pitfalls of human endeavor. Their story underscores the balance between progress and sustainability. The Sumerians' quest to tame rivers set in motion forces that led to their decline. Soil salinization reminds us that innovations can have unintended consequences. It highlights the need for a holistic approach to progress. Internal conflicts over resources serve as a cautionary tale for our times. The story of Sumer reminds us of the dangers of division and the importance of sustainability. While the Sumerians faded from history, their legacy lived on. One of the most enduring connections between Sumer and the modern world is the story of Abraham, the patriarch of the Israelites, who, according to the Bible, was born in the city of Ur. Abraham's journey from Ur to Canaan marks a turning point in the biblical narrative. It connects the ancient world of Mesopotamia with the later development of some major religions. The Bible describes Abraham as a man of great faith, called by God to leave his homeland and travel to a new land where he would become the father of a great nation. As Abraham traveled through Mesopotamia, he would have passed by some of the great cities of his time, cities that were already in decline but still held echoes of their former glory. Abraham's journey symbolizes a broader theme of migration, which has shaped human history for millennia. The story of a man leaving his homeland for a promised land resonates with people throughout history. The influence of Sumer can also be seen in the development of the monotheistic religions that grew out of the Middle East. Look up at the night sky, a tapestry of stars stretching across the cosmos, and you are witnessing a legacy passed down through millennia. The Sumerians' contributions to astronomy laid the groundwork for centuries of discovery. They charted the movements of stars and planets, developing calendars and identifying constellations. Their observations were remarkably accurate, a testament to their patience and ingenuity. Their contributions to mathematics provided the building blocks for later advancements. Their sexagesimal system still influences our measurement of time and angles today. The legacy of Sumer extends far beyond the confines of time and geography. It is a legacy written in the stars, etched in mathematics, and woven into our laws and governance. The Sumerian story reminds us of the boundless potential within the human spirit. The Sumerians were the pioneers of civilization, the first to build cities, to write laws, and to create a written record of their achievements. Their innovations in agriculture, trade, writing, and technology laid the foundations for the development of human society. But their story is also a cautionary tale, a reminder that even the greatest civilizations can fall. The Sumerians' legacy lives on in the modern world, from the cities of Iraq to the legal systems and religious traditions that shape our societies today. Their rise and fall are stories of human ambition, creativity, and resilience. This story continues to inspire and challenge us as we face the challenges of our own time.